Good morning and welcome to the grand opening of the Folsom Trail. I'm Carl Christensen, Chairman of the UTA Board of Trustees, and I'm pleased to stand with my colleague Beth Holbrook, as well as our partners, Mayor Erin Mendenhall of Salt Lake City and Jorge Fierro, a local business owner and well-respected community advocate known to many of you. For me, this is a watershed moment. A number of years ago, when I was on the Salt Lake City Council, there was a need to raise a stormwater fee. It was not proposed, but I pushed it forward. And later that year, they decided to build the stormwater system through this corridor, allowing not only for a trail, but some important infrastructure that allowed for the protection of the gateway area as well as future flooding from City Creek. So we're grateful to see this day come forward. Our partnership is what helps real change in our communities. We can work hard and effectively on our own, but our impact multiplies when we collaborate together. Both Salt Lake City and the Federal Transit Administration have worked in collaboration with us to provide funds and engage vital community partners around this active transportation project. I want to thank all those who have contributed to the completion of this beautiful and vital initiative. The Folsom Trail safely connects neighborhoods and communities west of Salt Lake City with our North Temple FrontRunner station, and from there to destinations across the Wasatch Front. This is part of our revitalizing not just neighborhoods, but what type of communities we want to build. As a transit agency, UTA prioritizes and facilitates transit-oriented communities to help achieve cleaner air, human connection, and access to opportunities. We're proud to be part of this grand opening with our esteemed partners today, and I'm now pleased to turn time over to Mayor Mendenhall, and following her marks, Mr. Fierro, after which we will have a ribbon cutting ceremony. Mayor Mendenhall.
Thanks, Carlton. Thank you, Carlton. Can you hear me okay? All right. This is the little trail that could. Not only because it pays homage to this trail's former life as a rail corridor, but because this project has been steadily chugging along for an entire decade, and we're not done. This is an illustration of our steadfast commitment to increasing access to open space, to recreation, and putting the ribs on our transportation network that UTA runs on the north-south corridor of our tracks and our bus lines. We're adding buses east and west, we're adding trails east and west. The groundwork for this Folsom Corridor project began in 2008 when Union Pacific did a realignment of the west side railroad corridors to reduce disruption and open up public space for community uses. And when this happened, 1.5 miles of track that we're standing on now from 7th West over to the Jordan River was abandoned. So Salt Lake City jumped at the chance to infuse a variety of public benefits within this utility corridor. Increased access points to transportation routes, open and green space, and a safe place to exercise and enjoy nature. It's so appropriate that Carlton is here, I know on behalf of UTA, but as a council person at the time, he's been a part of this project throughout. So over these last many years, studies and plans have been carefully conducted and designed, and the funding sources were finally identified. So here we are finally officially opening the Folsom Trail. This 10-foot wide path was designed to be safe and comfortable for people of all ages and abilities to walk or ride bikes or use whatever wheels they need to. Salt Lake City's transportation, public lands, engineering, public utilities, and our planning staff, I see so many of you here today, including our redevelopment agency staff, have worked tirelessly to make this project happen and also managed to maintain the quality of the stormwater infrastructure in the process. Now we have this vital connector for our neighborhoods, our businesses, our commuter rail, and there is more to come. My friend and our local business owner, Jorge Fierro, will talk in just a moment about some of the future activities in the corridor, but I just want to take a second to talk about one forthcoming improvement that I am thrilled about. I know our city council members are as well, and that is the daylighting of City Creek. As the Folsom corridor stretches through one of the city's redevelopment project areas right here, our redevelopment agency is partnering with Seven Canyons Trust to create a design plan for bringing sections of City Creek up to the surface. This is going to provide even more enjoyable open spaces, access to greenery and nature, and recreational amenities along this corridor that will serve all of our residents and visitors, and supporting the local businesses as well. The design for the daylighting plan is already underway. I can't wait to come back and move some dirt with a shovel and eventually be able to put maybe our hands in the water and touch the City Creek that's running under this adjacent ground right now. The RDA is also in the process of identifying development projects near the Folsom corridor that will encourage economic growth and contribute to a more active and people-focused space where people can enjoy the trail and the unsurfaced creek and maybe be able to eat some really good food and get a drink nearby. Before I pass this off to Jorge, I just want to acknowledge that none of this would have been possible without UTA as our partners. Thank you for administering the $20 million Tiger Grant and for being such an amazing project partner, UTA. And most of all, thank you to the community. A decade is a long time. Thank you for your patience with Salt Lake City during this construction and development process. This is all for you. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this great, ribbon cutting for the trail, for the Folsom corridor. As most of you know, I'm a small business here in Salt Lake City. I started it about 24 years ago. I was facing eviction not too long ago. And who would have thought that I would end up right in front of this trail? I mean, it's almost like a very great surprise after having such a hard time thinking that I was going to be out of business rather soon. But just like the city has always done, and the city will always do, is it always thinking about a small business in every single aspect. I think and I feel that this trail is incredible, not only for us and for our economy, for my employees, for the west side. I think it's important to mention that the west side, it needs a little TLC. And I feel that the city is truly, honestly, doing as much as they can to be able to do it in such a great way, that they're shaping the future that we have in Salt Lake City, especially on the west side. This trail has been in the works for quite some time. And to be quite honest with you, it is very possible for a small business like ourselves to be able to think about what else we can offer to our city. How else can we enhance our business so we can hire more people, westsiders? We can bring more people into our area with this kind of a plans, and with the city along the way and UTA, we can make understand our community that we are going to be building things that would eventually allow us to communicate east and west, north and south. But the trail is very, very surprising. Since I moved into this area, which this is about a year and a half ago, used to see the construction of the street and the sidewalk and lastly the trail. It's been very emotional for me, because I know for a fact that this is going to be incredible for our economy on the west side. As most of you may know, that we truly, honestly, this is the last of how can we truly, honestly help the west siders. This trail is going to really make it happen. I really want to, be conscious about the work that the city is doing. I think, and I know for a fact that UTA and the city are working together to be able to enhance the west side of Salt Lake City. And as a small business, I'm extremely proud and happy that this is taking place today. And And also, I want to thank the city for the support that have even given me through the last years. That has been a little bit surprising because of our growth in our city. And a small business like myself, we keep finding spaces that suit who we are. And the trail is something that is really exciting for us to be able to utilize on the daily basis and to be able to bring and connect with people on the east side, on the north side, and the south side. Thank you so much. This is the beginning of something wonderful.